Okay, so we're almost done here. We're doing really good on time this time. I feel like we got better at summarizing things. Uh, Me and Bradley, was this 2 weeks ago? Yeah,
I guess two
one
weeks
week
ago.
ago. Last weekend? No, the
Oh
one before.
yeah, whatever it was.
We played a video game called Momodora Reverie Under Moonlight.
Which is
Is that
it's
is that the title?
Yeah, that's the title, and it's technically Momodora 4, but you don't have to play the first three, and in fact, the developers will tell you not to play the first three.
Can
Um,
do.
I went on their website and they were like, forget about it. And like I looked at the first three, and I've never seen such a drastic increase in quality of art and gameplay.
So to back it up, Momodora is a Metroidvania pixel art 2D game. Uh,
Yeah. And I think pixel art is one of the main draws to it. I think it's a very pretty game.
It's very cute. It's very pretty. It's very smoothly animated. It's also really short and like really simplistic, but like because it's short, I think it works for its favor.
Yeah, I think, and we had talked about this while we were playing. Um, we also checked out Bloodstained the same day, and I think Willow's going to talk about it after this.
Hmm.
And you're not going to find like the expansive move sets or options that you'll find in Bloodstained. But that's kind of fine in this
And,
because the
and
game is so short and contained.
and it makes sense because you're not gonna run into that many enemies. I think there's only like five bosses that we really ended up fighting, maybe like six or seven.
Yeah.
There's like four main ones you have to fight. There's some mini bosses. There's like a before my final boss and then like a final boss with a couple phases. And for me, the fun part of combat came with figuring out your swings and how they work. First of all, it was really satisfying to hit people. Bradley brought this up before I even played. I was like, oh yeah, there's good
Yeah,
hits done.
it's funny. Every time I've seen a Let's Play of people playing this game, when they hit the first enemy, they're like, "Oh my god,
They
it
call
feels
that
good."
juiciness. But a big part of the combat and why I think people would want to replay it, aside from being a short like speed run game, which Bradley can apparently beat under an hour somehow. Which,
It's a very good speedrun game.
by the way, we played on hard. What difficulty do you play on your speed runs?
Uh, Either hard, and I did insane once.
What the fuck? That's really impressive because you do die pretty easily, but like
Yeah, but at that point, if you're speedrunning it, you're usually not getting
yeah,
hit. So,
yeah. The bosses aren't that tough. There was one that fucking
yeah, I think there was only one boss that really gave you grief.
yeah. We beat it in one night, and each boss was pretty easy. But there was this one, and Bradley told me, "Hey, if you don't get hit by a boss, you get a special item." And that's where like the fun comes in. Where like your moveset will never really change or evolve, but you can play around with these items. And I always want to have more options to play around with. So just this one boss, I didn't know I could duck her beam, and it was just, took me a long time. But by the end of the game, I had this deadly poison build, which I'm sure is pretty common. You get so many poison items.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people go for that
it is
build.
really cool. There's a lot of synergies I see out there. Like Willer went for like poison arrows, and he also had an item that heals you when you're poisoned. So like he can shoot a wall, and he gets
Huff the
poisoned by his own
poison.
arrow, and then it heals him.
That was
And
really fun.
there's like a million different builds out there. Like some people go for like the fire item. Some people try to go for like a risk it all build where you get more damage to do the less health you have, and there's also another item that like damages you and boosts your attack, so they'll activate it, get to like 1 health, and then kill the boss in a few hits. So there's cool synergies, and I also like the items because this game kind of does the Dark Souls thing where there's relatively little dialogue. Most lore in these games is told through item descriptions. So you'll only really get everything if you are like going out of your way to find all the secrets and stuff.
Which I did miss a lot of that, since
Yeah,
we were going
we
through it
wanted to
pretty
try to
quick.
beat it in one night, and trying to 100% it might have taken like another 2 hours, and we
We
were
did pretty good. I feel like I explored a lot of the map. I missed all the secret areas for sure, but
yeah,
the bosses is one of the things I wanted to bring up. They have fun patterns. I actually, for like a 2D game, your bosses live and die by their patterns and how tight they are and like how much they're testing your moveset. And I had a lot of fun fighting the bosses.
Yeah, like there are a few bosses in particular that I usually really like I like Fennel, the girl with the red sword.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, pretty much all the bosses I really enjoy fighting. If there's one thing that I wish this game did differently, it's that I wish there were. There's one mini boss we fought where Willard really had like his poison arrow build going, and there was one mini boss that is immune to arrows because he's wearing this metal armor. So Willard's like, oh man, I actually have to melee this one.
Well, it was weird because I was melting enemies with that arrow, and then like I ran into that. But I also had that item that I worked so hard for that like massacred him in a couple of
Yeah.
hits.
So yeah, I kind of wish that there was like more stuff like that where you get into a boss and you have to be like, oh man, this strat's not gonna work. I have to like figure out some other strategy. Because for the most part, once you get one, like a build that works for one boss is gonna work for
I
most
used the
bosses.
bow for everything. Like that
Yeah,
that thing was shredding. Like I would use melee hits as well, but like my big damage opportunities were coming from the
yeah.
bow.
But I think most of the bosses still end up being pretty satisfying for me.
All in all, for me, this is a really short and cheap game that you can buy. It looks really cute. It's a fun time to play. You can blow it off in the evening, and I definitely recommend it to anyone who likes Metroidvanias.
Yeah. If nothing else, the whole reason I bought it is because I really liked the art and animation and music. So if nothing else, get it because it's very artistic.